All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to our speed and space management lesson. In this lesson, it's going to take a little bit, but we're going to be learning about speed and space management. This is going to be chapter 2, lesson 5.1. Okay, to follow along, we're going to go through these steps together. The first one is you're going to go to my website, which is mycdlprep.com. Then you're going to click on join the training community. Then once you join the school training community, you're going to click on chapter 2, general knowledge, and then you're going to be going to section 5.1. All right, here's the website. You're going to go to mycdlprep.com, and right here where it says join the training community, you're going to click right on there. That's going to take you to the school.com training community. Right now, I'm just getting started, but hopefully one day this will grow and we'll get a lot of members to get their CDL started using mycdlprep.com. So you got to register. That's one thing you got to do. You got to register with school.com. And once you register, then you'll be able to join the community CDL test prep. That's the one I created here. We're going to click on classroom at the top. And here's everything you get to learn. I'm working every day real hard to make sure we get the best content and make it easy for you to be able to learn on this community. So here we're going to go to chapter 2, and we're going to go down all the way to lesson 5. So you go to lesson 5.1. You're going to click on it. And here you could follow along. We got a video, and we got everything we're going to go over today in this learning lesson. Okay, now we're back at the slideshow presentation. We're going to start by watching the video. Please pay attention to this video as it has a lot of helpful information you could use out there on the road.
Speed and space management are critical skills for safe truck driving. Controlling your speed and maintaining proper space helps prevent accidents and gives you time to react. Large trucks require more time and distance to stop. Managing your speed and space properly reduces the risk of collisions and keeps you in control of your vehicle. Safe drivers adjust their speed based on road conditions, traffic, and visibility. Driving too fast reduces your ability to react and increases stopping distance. The faster you drive, the longer it takes your truck to stop. Higher speeds reduce reaction time and increase the risk of losing control. Always maintain proper following distance. A tractor trailer should keep at least 6 to 7 seconds of space under normal conditions. In poor conditions such as rain, fog, or heavy traffic, increase your following distance to 10 seconds or more. It is important to manage space on all sides of your truck. Avoid driving in tight spaces and give yourself room to maneuver safely. Be aware of your blind spots, also known as no zones. Vehicles in these areas may not be visible, increasing the risk of accidents. Always look ahead and anticipate changes in traffic. Safe drivers slow down early and avoid sudden braking. Managing your speed and space keeps you in control and helps prevent dangerous situations on the road. Proper speed and space management protects you, your cargo, and everyone on the road. Stay alert, plan ahead, and drive safely.
All right, that's a real good video that I was able to make up for you guys. So remember, space management is very important. That's something you're going to learn in this lesson here. So following distance. You got to maintain a safe following distance to give yourself time to react and stop. So here's an example. So you need driving a semi truck. The way you calculate it is 10 feet of truck or vehicle is 1 second. So semi truck is anywhere from 73 feet to 75 feet long on US roads. So you need 6 to 7 seconds. You see there's a vehicle up here. Then you got the 6 to 7 second minimum for the semi truck. You also need to remember when there's inclement weather, you got to increase it even more. It should be at 10 to 15 seconds of following distance. So how do you measure it? How do you measure following distance? Here's a little tip right here. You got to choose a fixed object on the road. When the vehicle in front passes it, count 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007. You should not reach the object before you finish counting 7. So basically, let's say there's a sign right here that you're moving. There's a sign. You use the sign that's around here to start counting. And you count to 5 and you already reached the sign. That means you're too close. So you got to let go of the gas or tap your brakes a little bit to slow your truck down so that way you're at 6 to 7 seconds of following distance. Now, this is why it matters. If you have the proper following distance, it gives you more time to react. You get to help prevent rear end collisions, and you get to keep you and others safe on the road. Now, as a truck driver, you're going to see a lot of accidents. When I was a truck driver, all the time, you see cars in the back of trucks, you see the people gone because they were following too close. They tailgate trucks. Even cars should follow this. You don't know what's going to happen in front of that truck. You're real close to them, they crash, and you end up under them. And you end up in the hospital or gone. So please remember, always keep 6 to 7 seconds minimum of following distance when driving a commercial vehicle. This is really important because this is on the test. When you go on the test for your general knowledge, they do a lot of questions about following distance. Now, stopping distance. It's a little different than following distance. It takes a large truck much longer to stop. Always leave enough room to stop safely. Okay, so the best way to explain this, stopping distance is basically a distance of how long it's going to take you to stop that truck until you get to a certain point. Here's a quick reminder, the faster you go, the longer it takes to stop. Increase your following distance and reduce your speed. Okay, so the faster you're going, the more distance you need to stop. So a truck, for those who don't know, it takes longer to stop. So it's not like a car where you press the brake and right away you get a reaction. There's a delay because there's air involved. From the moment you press that brake and the time it takes the air to go through the tanks, there's a small little delay. You're gonna notice it when you start doing your training for that truck to start reacting to your command or what you're telling it to do. It's not going to happen right away. So that's why it's important, the previous slide about the following distance, that you keep your 6 to 7 seconds. That way gives you enough time. So you have your perception distance. This is seeing the hazard and reacting. So that car is up ahead. Look at the hazard right up there. It's going to take your time. You're going to see it. Okay, I see it. And then it takes time for your brain to react. This is called the reaction distance. Time to move your foot to the brake. That's how long it takes. Your brain to react and start tapping that brake or hitting the brake to stop for that hazard. And then the rest of it is called the braking distance. The time and distance it takes to stop. So this is called total stopping distance. This is the best way to explain it. So at 55 miles an hour, it takes 250 feet for you to see it and another 250 feet for your reaction distance. And then your braking distance is 800 feet. That's a total stopping distance of 1,300 feet. That is more than 2.5 football fields long. So think of that for a moment. You know, it takes that long for a semi truck to stop. 2.5 football fields. It's going to take one of our semi trucks that's 73 to 75 feet long, going at 55 miles an hour to be able to stop completely. So now we're going to talk about factors that affect stopping distance. This could be speed, the weight of the truck. Remember, the heavier the truck is, the longer it takes to stop, the weather, the inclement weather, and road conditions. So let's start with speed. The faster you drive, the longer it takes to stop. Stopping distance increases greatly at higher speeds. Reduce speed and leave more following distance. You see this a lot. There's a lot of truckers that do not follow this. They're like, oh, I've been driving 15 years. I've been driving 20 years. Let me go all up in the ass of the truck or the vehicle in front of me. Nope. You're supposed to leave. You gotta leave room, especially at high speeds. You got people speeding. You got truck. Even here in Texas, the trucks are not supposed to be in the HOV lane. You see them driving in the HOV lane with one driver just hauling. You got to be patient. If you're going to be speeding and driving reckless, this job or this profession is not for you. You shouldn't be here. We need people who got patience, who are going to follow the law, go the speed limit, and take the freight and the deliveries safely. I know a lot of drivers don't get paid by the hour. So you try to rush sometimes, but that's not safe. You shouldn't be speeding just to get your delivery there. Safety first. Weight. More weight means more momentum and longer stopping distance. We just spoke about stopping distance. So the heavier your load is, the more stuff you got on that truck, the longer it's gonna take you to stop. You gotta push those brakes. You gotta feel it. You're like, what's going on? You just gotta be patient. It just takes longer to stop. That's what you need. Longer, further away and longer stopping distances. You gotta adjust to speed, weight, the weather, and road conditions. Heavier loads require more time and distance to stop. Know your weight and drive within safe limits. Weather. Poor weather reduces traction and increases stopping distance. Rain, snow, fog, and ice make it harder to stop. Slow down and increase your following distance. So whenever there's inclement weather, you should be increasing from 6 to 7 seconds to 10 and 15 seconds, because you don't know what's going to happen in front of you. When you go to Texas and Florida, you're going to notice, for those of you who never been there, people turn on their hazard lights when it rains and they go real slow in all of the lanes. You just got to breathe in and breathe out and have patience. You just got to take your time, go real slow. There's no need. The roads are real slippery down here and in Florida. You just got to be very patient, especially in those mountains too. A lot of people, oh, it's a mountain. You got to slow it down. You got to slow it down. You have a lot of police out there that'll pull you over, and state troopers. If they see rain, they'll start flashing their lights at you. If they see you speeding, they want to see you slow down and increase your following distance. And the last one is road conditions. Road conditions can affect how well your tires grip the road. Wet, slick, rough, or uneven roads increase stopping distance. Stay alert and adjust your speed to road conditions. So that's really important. They always say within 15 minutes from when it starts raining, this is going to be in the test. So remember, the first 15 minutes when it starts raining, that is when it is more dangerous and the road is more slippery. So once it starts raining, just because there's a little bit of water, that's when it's the most slippery. You got to let that water settle. That's scientifically proven. That's why it's in the test, and in all the books you read, it's going to tell you that the weather is more, the road is more slippery, and the first 15 minutes when it starts raining. All right, so the key points to remember from this lesson: safe driving isn't just about skills, it's about making smart decisions every time. Follow these key points to stay safe and professional on the road. You got to maintain your distance, your 6 to 7 seconds of following distance. Keep a safe following distance. Use the 6 to 7 second rule. It gives you time to react. More distance equals more safety. Remember, this is in the test, the 6 to 7 seconds and 10 seconds for inclement weather. Adjust to conditions. Conditions change, so should you. Slow down in bad weather. Watch for traffic, road, and environmental changes. Adjust your speed and driving. Give yourself time. Time's really important. Do not rush. Even if you don't get paid by the hour, you get paid by the miles. Safety first. You want to make sure that, I know you want to get your load there and you don't want to wait if you make it there late, but you got to be safe. You got to follow these rules. Give yourself time. Don't rush. Plan ahead and leave early. More time equals less stress and better decisions. Safe driving saves lives. Stay alert, stay focused, drive defensively, get home safe. You want to make sure you get home to a nice warm bed if you have one. Your goal is simple: protect yourself and others. Drive smart, stay focused, and make it home safe. Every trip, every time. All right, you know what time it is? It's practice question time. So we gotta go to our website that I made you guys, and we're gonna practice questions. So when you're part of the school community, you're gonna have quizzes at the end of every lesson. You click it, and it takes you to the website. And then you also got, when you click on classroom, you have practice test. You click on CDL practice test, and you're gonna have general knowledge. You're gonna have air brakes, and gonna have combination vehicle practice test. You could only access these from the school platform. So as you can see here, general knowledge practice test. You got 10, 25, and 50 question practice test that you could use. So say we click the 25 one, it's gonna ask you to register. And if you're already registered, then you could just log in and see it's gonna load up here your practice test. So let's give it a minute. There it is. So here you have all of the questions you need to practice. There's over 1,500 questions, so you won't get the same questions every time, and there's different difficulties. So once you submit it, it'll tell you how you did, and it'll also tell you when you're ready to continue on and be ready for the actual real test. But for right now, we're gonna go. We're gonna use this app I made on here to help you guys. This for when I do these live lessons. We're gonna do what's called a live review, and we're gonna do general knowledge, and we want space management. So we're gonna do fun practice questions related to the space management. So you're driving a commercial vehicle on a wet, winding road with limited visibility. What is the safest following distance strategy? So we just spoke about this. A, follow closely to see the road ahead better. Maintain a 2-second following distance. Reduce following distance to keep up with traffic. Increase following distance well beyond 4 seconds. So this is tricky. This is how they get you here. You gotta listen carefully and read carefully when you're taking that test. Cause see, they threw these two answers here: reduce following distance, increase following. It's tricky, but I believe the answer is gonna be D. Increase your following distance well beyond 4 seconds. And it's tricky because it's not saying how long the vehicle is or anything. So we know we're gonna increase it. So we're gonna increase it beyond 4 seconds, and see it's correct here. Increase your following distance well beyond 4 seconds. Explanation: longer following distances on wet, curvy roads give more time to react to hazards when stopping distance are increased and visibility is reduced. Okay, and this is where we got it from. Now let's get another question. All right, here's our next question. Before changing lanes on a busy highway, what space management practice should you follow? Assume other drivers would yield to you. That hardly ever happens. Signal, but do not check mirrors. Okay, that's interesting. Check mirrors and blind spots and ensure adequate space before moving. Change lanes quickly without signaling. Which one do you think it is? I think it's gonna be C. Let's check. Oh, correct. All right. Okay, that one came out correct. Correct. Properly checking mirrors and blind spots ensures you have space and reduces the risk of collisions during lane changes. Let's get another question. You're driving a heavy truck at 55 miles an hour on a dry highway. Traffic suddenly slows ahead. What is the best way to maintain a safe following distance to avoid a collision? Okay. First one, use your horn to warn the vehicle ahead to speed up. Increase your following distance to allow more time to stop. Maintain your current distance and prepare to brake hard. Move closer to the vehicle ahead to signal urgency. I'm going to go with B. This is a kind of a common sense one. You're going to increase your following distance to allow more time to stop. Correct? Let's do another one. You need to change lanes on a busy highway. How would you manage space to complete the maneuver safely? Check mirrors and blind spots, signal early, and ensure there is a sufficient gap in the next lane before moving over. Okay, this one's easy. This was in that slideshow I just showed you guys. We just discussed this. And that is the correct answer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this lesson on space and maneuvering your truck safely on the highway and keeping a safe following distance. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this type of lessons and videos. Please remember to join my school community. The link is below this video. And if you go to my CDLprep.com, you could also click on the link on there so you could follow along these lessons and move along on your own step by step. And I also want to thank you for subscribing.